Welcome to Boundaries and Triggers. Protect your peace and reclaim your power. Now that you've released some of what no longer serves you, it's time to get clear on how to protect the space you're reclaiming. In this module, we're talking about boundaries and triggers, two things that can transform your life once you understand them. Let's start with boundaries. Boundaries are the limits and guidelines you set for what is acceptable and unacceptable in your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically, and spiritually. Boundaries are a form of self love. They're a way to teach others how to treat you, and a tool for preserving your energy and peace, meaning protecting your mental, emotional, and spiritual space from people and situations that leave you feeling drained, disrespected, or disconnected from yourself. Boundaries are not being mean, rude, or cold, cutting everyone off without communication, and boundaries are not expecting people to read your mind. No, communication is necessary. Examples of healthy boundaries include statements such as, I'm not available to talk about that right now. I love you, but I need some space to process this. Please don't raise your voice at me. I don't attend events where I feel unsafe or unseen, meaning spaces where you feel ignored, dismissed, overlooked, or like your presence or voice doesn't matter. You don't have to explain your boundaries excessively. You are allowed to honor your needs without guilt. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you were raised in a home where there were none, or where saying no got you punished. But over time, you'll find that boundaries help you feel safe, respected, seen, and whole. Triggers. So, what are triggers? They're different from boundaries. A trigger is an emotional response to a situation, word, tone, behavior, or environment that reminds your nervous system of an unhealed wound. Triggers are not proof that you're broken. Triggers are not something to be ashamed of. And triggers are not always about the present moment. A trigger activates your survival system. It puts your body on high alert, often without your conscious awareness. That's why your reaction might feel bigger than the situation calls for. It's not just about this moment, it's about what this moment reminds you of. So, for example, let's say that you text someone and that person doesn't respond to your text. And then that leaves you feeling abandoned. But unless they tell you directly that they were ignoring you, this is your womb speaking, not a confirmed act. It's your responsibility to pause and ask, why did this make me feel abandoned? Another example is someone raises their voice and you shut down and dissociate. Or someone says you're just being sensitive and you feel dismissed or small. I encourage you to remember this. Being triggered doesn't make you wrong. It means there's something within you that wants to be seen, soothed, or healed. Your healing is your responsibility. Someone else may unknowingly trigger you, but it is still your job to go within and ask, what does this remind me of? Why did this hurt? Where have I felt this before? Without that inward exploration, triggers can run your life and relationships. But with awareness, they can become doorways to deep healing. Working through your triggers is essential because left unchecked, they can become debilitating. You may begin avoiding people, places, or situations just out of fear or misinterpreting others' actions as personal attacks. That's why we must choose curiosity over blame, reflection over reaction. Here's a couple of practical ways to handle triggers. Pause before reacting. Take 3 deep breaths to come to the present. Name the trigger. Say to yourself, I'm feeling triggered right now. Locate it in your body. Where do you feel tension? Is it in your chest, your stomach, or your shoulders? Ask yourself, what is this really about? What does this moment remind me of? And then soothe yourself. Speak to your inner child. You're safe now. We're okay. And then don't assign blame. Most people aren't trying to hurt you, they're acting from their own patterns as well. Triggers are invitations inward, not accusations outward. Remember, it's not someone else's job to avoid your triggers or make you feel unabandoned, loved, or worthy. That's your healing work. You are responsible for your responses, and that's where your power is. Now, what's the difference between triggered, being triggered, and being bothered? It's important to know the difference. Being bothered is irritation, annoyance. You can name it and move on. Being triggered is a nervous system activation. You feel it in your body. Your breathing changes, your thoughts spiral, your sense of safety is interfered or disrupted. When you're triggered, your inner child is usually the one that's reacting. And she is not irrational. She's scared because she remembers. Here's an activity for you. This is a boundary check-in and trigger tracker. So, what is one area in your life where you feel drained, resentful, or obligated? Is there a boundary that needs to be created or reinforced? And then the next part of this, you're going to think of the last time you felt highly reactive. What was said or done? What did it remind you of? And where did you feel it in your body? I encourage you to write these down in your journal. Take some time to reflect and process. Then here's a couple of journal prompts. Where in my life do I need stronger boundaries? How do I typically respond when I'm triggered? What is one boundary I'm afraid to set and why? And what does safety feel like to me? Boundaries are your birthright, and triggers are your teachers. Together, they guide you back to your truth. And remember, your inner child is watching. Every time you set a boundary, you say, you're safe with me now. Triggers are invitations, not enemies. They are doorways to deep healing. Enter with compassion. And every time you explore a trigger with curiosity instead of shame, you reclaim a part of yourself that was left behind. Boundaries lead to self-trust. Triggers shine light on self-awareness. You're not overreacting, you're remembering. And now you're rewriting. Let's keep going.